Welcome to G Fun Facts Online, where we unpack the big ideas shaping our world. Have you ever looked at a world map and noticed tiny dots, indicating a military base from one country sitting smack in the middle of another? It's not just a place for soldiers to hang out. In the grand chessboard of global politics, these foreign military bases are the most powerful pieces, moved with incredible strategic intent. They are the physical proof of a nation's ambition, projecting power and influence thousands of miles from home. Today we're diving into the intricate strategy behind these outposts of power. Why are they built? Who are the major players? And what does it mean for the future? The idea of setting up military camps on foreign land is as old as empires themselves. The Romans were masters of it, using fortresses to control their massive territories. The British Empire used its naval bases to rule the waves. But the modern era of foreign bases really exploded after World War II, during the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union carved the world into two spheres of influence and began an unprecedented expansion of their military footprints. The US built a huge network of bases in Western Europe, like Ramstein Air Base in Germany, to counter the Soviets. This network stretched all the way to Asia, with bases in Japan and South Korea. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union did the same in Eastern Europe and in allied countries like Cuba and Vietnam. These weren't just military spots. They were frontline positions in a global standoff. So why do nations spend billions to build and maintain these bases on foreign shores? The reasons are a mix of military, economic, and political goals. First, and most importantly, is power projection and rapid response. A foreign base closes the distance. It allows a country to react to a crisis or deploy troops instantly, without the logistical headache of crossing an ocean. Second is deterrence and reassurance. A visible military base is a powerful warning sign to any potential enemy. For allies, it's a physical promise of protection. Think of it as having a very large, very well-armed friend sleeping on your couch. It makes bullies think twice. Third, these bases protect economic interests. They act as guardians for vital sea lanes and trade routes, ensuring that a nation's economic lifelines remain stable and secure. And fourth, they are invaluable platforms for intelligence and surveillance, acting as the eyes and ears of a nation's defense system. Let's take a quick tour of the major players on today's stage. The United States maintains the most extensive network of foreign military bases in history, with estimates putting it between 750 and 800 bases in around 80 countries. This global presence costs roughly $55 billion a year. Key hubs in Europe deter Russia, bases in the Indo-Pacific counter China, and outposts in the Middle East allow the US to project influence in a volatile region. But a new power is rising. As China's economic strength has grown, so have its global ambitions. In 2017, China opened its first official overseas military base in Djibouti, on the Horn of Africa. But that's not all. China is also securing access to ports and facilities in countries like Pakistan and Cambodia, a strategy some call the string of pearls. Beijing says this is to protect its citizens and its massive economic projects, but the US and its allies see it as a direct challenge to the current world order. And then there's Russia. Its foreign military presence is mostly a legacy of the Soviet Union, concentrated in former Soviet republics, which it calls its near abroad. The goal is clear: maintain a sphere of influence and push back against NATO. Its naval and air bases in Syria also give Moscow a crucial foothold in the Middle East. But what about the countries that agree to host these bases? For them, it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it brings enhanced security and an economic boost from local jobs and spending. For smaller nations, this can be very appealing. On the other hand, the costs are high. Host nations can lose some of their independence, with their foreign policy influenced by the powerful country on their soil. Their economies can become too dependent on the base. And, most dangerously, hosting a foreign base can make you a target, potentially dragging you into a conflict you wanted no part of. The very nature of these bases is now facing a massive shift. The rise of long-range precision weapons, like hypersonic missiles, means that large, fixed bases are becoming increasingly vulnerable. They're just big targets. In response, military planners are looking at smaller, more scattered, and more agile footprints, and the very definition of a base is expanding. The new frontiers for competition are in cyberspace and outer space. Digital infrastructure and satellite networks are the new strategic assets. The future of power projection will likely be a hybrid, mixing a smaller physical footprint with a much larger presence in these non-physical domains. In the end, foreign military bases remain a potent and very real symbol of statecraft. They are a physical manifestation of a nation's power and its will to shape world events. As the global balance of power continues to shift, the map of these strategic outposts will be redrawn, but their central role in the great game of geopolitics is here to stay. Thanks for listening to G Fun Facts Online.